An alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. But before that strange day, I was just a regular guy named Alex, living in a small town, feeling lost and distant from someone I cared about deeply. Lily had been my best friend since childhood. We grew up together, sharing dreams, fears, and countless memories. We laughed over silly jokes, explored the woods behind our houses, and promised each other we'd always be there. But everything changed when her family moved away for her dad's job. One day she was there, and the next she was gone. At first, I thought I could handle it. We promised to stay in touch and video chat whenever we could. But as the weeks turned into months, the calls became less frequent. I found myself staring at my phone, hoping for a message that never came. I missed her laughter, her advice, and even her silly quirks that always made me smile. The distance felt unbearable. Every time I walked past our favorite spots, the old oak tree where we carved our initials, the ice cream shop where we shared our secrets, I felt a sharp pang in my heart. Those places were filled with memories of us, and now they felt empty. I often thought about how to reconnect with her, but the fear of rejection held me back. What if she had moved on? What if she didn't want to talk to me anymore? One rainy afternoon, I sat on my bed, staring at a photo of us from last summer. We were grinning wide, carefree, and happy. I felt a wave of sadness wash over me. One missed her so much. Gathering my courage, I opened my laptop and typed out a message. "Hey, Lily, I hope you're doing well. I've been thinking about you a lot lately. I really miss you. Can we catch up soon?" I hovered my finger over the send button, my heart racing. What if she didn't respond? What if she was too busy with her new life? But I knew I had to try. With a deep breath, I clicked send. Days passed, and I found myself checking my phone constantly. Each time I heard a notification, my heart would leap, only to sink when it wasn't her. Just as I was about to give up hope, I received a reply. My heart raced as I opened the message. "Hi, Alex, I miss you too. I would love to catch up. How about a video call this weekend?" A rush of excitement filled me. I quickly replied, setting up a time for our call. I spent the next few days preparing for it, wondering what I would say. I wanted to tell her everything, how much I missed her, how different everything felt without her, and how hard it was to adjust to her absence. Finally, the day arrived. I set up my laptop at the kitchen table, making sure the background was tidy. I nervously checked my hair and adjusted my shirt. As the video call connected, my heart raced. There she was, Lily, smiling brightly, just as I remembered. "Alex!" she exclaimed, her eyes sparkling. "It's so good to see you." "It's great to see you too," I replied, feeling a wave of warmth wash over me. We spent the first few minutes catching up on small things, her new school, friends, and hobbies. But as we talked, I felt a familiar connection growing between us. It was like no time had passed at all. Then I mustered the courage to express my feelings. "You know, it's been really hard without you here. I miss our adventures and just hanging out." "I miss that too," she said softly, her expression growing serious. "Moving away was tough. I thought I'd make new friends easily, but it's just not the same without you." Her words resonated with me. I realized we were both feeling the same distance, the same longing for the bond that had always connected us. "We can still be close, you know. We just have to try harder," I suggested. "Yeah, I'd like that," she replied, her smile returning. "We can plan virtual hangouts, and I'll send you updates on everything. And maybe I can come visit during the summer?" "Really? That would be amazing," I exclaimed, feeling a spark of hope ignite within me. The thought of seeing her again, of sharing the same space, made my heart race. As our conversation continued, I felt lighter. We laughed and shared stories, reminiscing about our childhood and dreaming about future adventures. The distance that had once felt so heavy began to lift, replaced by a renewed sense of connection. After we finished our call, I felt a sense of hope that hadn't been there before. Yes, physical distance was still a reality, but our friendship was strong. We would make it work, no matter what it took. I realized that true friendships could withstand challenges, even ones as daunting as distance. Days turned into weeks, and we continued to connect regularly. Every call deepened our bond, reminding me of the strength of our friendship. I learned that even if someone moves away, the connection can still thrive if both people are willing to nurture it. Then, one day, something unexpected happened. I was working on a project in my garage when I heard a knock on the door. I opened it, and there stood Lily, suitcase in hand, a wide grin on her face. "Surprise!" she shouted. I couldn't wait until summer. I couldn't believe my eyes. Joy surged through me as I pulled her into a hug. In that moment, I knew that distance, no matter how great, could never truly separate us. Our friendship was stronger than ever, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. As we stood together, I realized that her presence was like a light, illuminating my world. Our connection was a testament to the idea that love and friendship could transcend distance. Just like that alien woman who collapsed in my arms, we had the power to change our galaxy. One bond at a time. An alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. But before that surprising day, I was just Alex, still trying to navigate the feelings of distance and longing after my best friend Lily moved away. After our joyful reunion, I felt a renewed sense of hope. Lily's visit had filled a void in my heart, but as the days passed and she returned to her new home, the familiar ache of distance returned. I found myself staring at the empty chair across from me at the kitchen table, wishing she were there to share a meal or laugh about something silly. Even though we had video calls and messages, it wasn't the same as having her here. I missed the little things: her voice, her humor, and the way she always seemed to know what I was thinking. I felt a growing sadness deep inside, as if a part of me was still missing. One evening, after a long day at work, I sat down on my couch with my phone. I thought about how much I wanted to reach out to her, to share my thoughts and feelings. But I hesitated. What if she was too busy with her new life? What if I was just bothering her? The fear of being a burden kept me silent. I decided to scroll through the photos on my phone. I came across pictures from our last summer together, us at the beach, laughing and splashing in the waves, and the silly selfies we took with ice cream smeared on our faces. Each photo brought back memories that felt both sweet and painful. I knew I couldn't let fear hold me back any longer. Taking a deep breath, I opened my messaging app and typed out a message to Lily. "Hey Lily, I've been thinking about you a lot. How's everything going? I miss you." After hitting send, I felt a mix of excitement and anxiety. What if she didn't reply? But deep down, I knew I needed to try. A few hours later, my phone buzzed, and my heart raced. It was a message from Lily. "Hi, Alex. I miss you too. Things are good here, but I often think about our adventures. Can we schedule a video call soon?" I smiled, feeling a wave of relief wash over me. "Of course. How about this weekend?" As the weekend approached, I felt nervous but hopeful. I cleaned up my room, wanting everything to look perfect for our call. I set up my laptop on the table and made sure my favorite mug was filled with hot chocolate, just like the times we used to share. When the moment finally arrived, I connected the video call. Seeing her face again made my heart soar. "Alex, it's so good to see you," she said, her eyes sparkling with warmth. "It's great to see you too, Lily." I replied, feeling the distance shrink between us. We talked about everything school, her new friends, and even my job. But as we chatted, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was still missing. Do you ever feel lonely? I asked, trying to find a way to express my feelings. Sometimes I feel like we're drifting apart. Lily's smile faded slightly. I do feel lonely sometimes. It's strange being away from you. I really miss our talks and hanging out. I thought I'd find my place here, but it's just not the same. Her words resonated deeply with me. I feel the same way, I admitted. I want to be there for you, but it's hard when we're so far apart. As we talked, I realized that our friendship was worth fighting for. Maybe we can plan more virtual hangouts? We could watch movies together or play games online. It might help us feel closer, I suggested. Great idea, she said, her eyes lighting up again. We could even start a book club. We can read the same book and discuss it every week. I love that, I replied, feeling excited about the possibilities. The idea of sharing activities again made me feel hopeful, as if we were reclaiming some of what we had lost. After our call, I felt empowered. I knew I had to make an effort to keep our friendship alive, no matter the distance. I started planning our virtual movie nights and gathered a list of books I thought we could read together. Each time I reached out to her, I felt more connected, as if we were building bridges across the miles that separated us. As the weeks turned into months, we watched movies, shared laughs, and discussed our favorite books. Each call brought us closer, and the distance began to feel less daunting. I could see how much we both valued our friendship, and it filled me with hope. One night, while we were watching a movie together, a thought. An alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. But before that day, I was just Alex, a guy navigating the emotional distance from my best friend Lily, who had moved away. After months of video calls and messages, we had finally decided to meet again, and I felt a sense of hope building inside me. The day of our reunion was approaching, and I could hardly contain my excitement. I had been counting down the days, imagining all the fun we would have together. We chose to meet at Lake Serenity, a beautiful spot filled with memories from our childhood. I remembered the laughter we shared there, the long talks under the stars, and the countless adventures we had. As I packed my bag for the trip, I felt a mix of emotions. I was thrilled to see Lily again, but a part of me worried about how things might have changed since she moved. Would we still have that same connection? What if she had changed too much? I pushed those thoughts aside, reminding myself that our friendship had survived the distance so far. On the day of the trip, I woke up early, filled with excitement. I drove to the lake, my heart racing as I imagined the moment I would see her. As I parked my car and walked toward the meeting spot, I felt butterflies in my stomach. The sun shone brightly, and the water sparkled like diamonds. It was the perfect day for a reunion. Then I saw her. Lily was standing by the water, her long hair blowing gently in the breeze. She looked just as I remembered, yet somehow different. When she spotted me, her face lit up with a smile that melted away my worries. I ran toward her, and we embraced tightly, as if trying to make up for all the time apart. "It's so good to see you," she said, stepping back to look at me. "You haven't changed at all. Neither have you," I replied, grinning from ear to ear. It felt like no time had passed since we last saw each other. We spent the first few moments just catching up, sharing stories about our lives, our friends, and everything that had happened since we last met. As we walked along the shore, I felt a sense of relief. The distance that had once felt so heavy was beginning to lift. We talked about our favorite memories from the lake, reminiscing about the time we built a giant sandcastle and the time we camped under the stars. Each memory brought back laughter and warmth, reminding us of how strong Our bond truly was. However, as the day went on, I noticed a subtle change in our conversation. While I was excited to share my life, I sensed that Lily was holding back. She would smile and nod, but I could see a flicker of sadness in her eyes. It made me wonder if she was still feeling the effects of the distance we had faced. "Lily, is everything okay?" I asked gently as we sat on a picnic blanket, watching the waves lap against the shore. She sighed, looking down at her hands. "I'm glad to be here, Alex, but sometimes I feel like I'm still adjusting to everything. I thought moving would be easy, but it's been harder than I expected. I miss my old life, and I miss you." Her honesty struck me. I had been so focused on my own feelings that I hadn't fully considered how she was coping with the move. "I miss you too," I said softly. "I've felt so distant without you. But I want you to know that I'm here for you, no matter what." Lily looked up, her eyes shimmering with gratitude. "Thank you, Alex. It means a lot to hear that. I've been trying to fit in here, but it's just not the same. I miss our adventures and the way we always understood each other." I nodded, feeling a surge of determination. We can create new adventures together, even if things are different. Now, we've overcome so much already. Our friendship is strong enough to handle this. Inspired by her words, I decided to share my own struggles. "Sometimes I feel lost without you too. I've been trying to fill the void, but it doesn't feel right. I realized that I need you in my life." As we talked about our feelings, I saw a change in Lily's expression. The sadness in her eyes began to fade, replaced by a flicker of hope. "I want to make things work," she said. "Maybe we can plan more trips like this. We can explore new places together and keep our friendship alive." "That's a great idea," I replied, feeling a sense of excitement. "We can make it a goal to meet up regularly. It doesn't matter where, we just need to keep trying." As the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, we made plans for more reunions in the future. We talked about places we wanted to visit, activities we wanted to try, and how we could support each other despite the distance. In that moment, I realized that our friendship was like a bridge connecting two worlds. It wasn't just about being physically close. It was about understanding, supporting, and cherishing each other, no matter the miles in between. As the stars began to twinkle overhead, I felt a sense of peace settle in my heart. The distance that once felt so daunting was now just a challenge we could face together. Our friendship had the power to adapt and grow, just like the universe around us. When it was time to leave, I felt a mixture of sadness and hope. I didn't want the day to end, but I knew that this was just the beginning of a new chapter for us. We hugged tightly, promising to stay connected and to keep our adventures alive. As I drove home, I thought about how far we had come. A journey of reconnecting had been filled with challenges, but it had also brought us closer. I realized that even when life pulls friends apart, hope and determination can bridge any gap. Just like that alien woman who collapsed in my arms, reminding me that connections could change everything, Lily and I had the power to change our own galaxy. Our friendship would endure, no matter the distance, and I couldn't wait to see what new adventures awaited us in the future. Asterisk. An alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. But before that day, I was just Alex, trying to reconnect with my best friend Lily, who had moved away. After our beautiful reunion at Lake Serenity, I felt a renewed sense of hope. We had made plans to stay close, but now it was time to put those plans into action. As the weeks passed after our trip, I kept thinking about how to strengthen our friendship. I wanted to make sure that the distance between us wouldn't pull us apart again. I remembered Lily's words about feeling lonely, and I realized that I needed to be more proactive in keeping our bond alive. One evening, I sat down with my laptop and made a list of ideas for things we could do together, even from far away. I wanted to make our virtual hangout special and engaging. The idea of a book club had excited both of us, so I decided to start there. I picked a book I thought Lily would love, an adventurous fantasy novel filled with magic and friendship. After finishing my list, I sent Lily a message. Hey, Lily. I picked a book for us to read together. It's called The Enchanted Forest. I think you'll really like it. Let's schedule our first discussion for next week. I hit send, feeling hopeful. I couldn't wait to hear her response. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. Hi, Alex. That sounds awesome. I've heard great things about that book. Let's do it. I felt a surge of excitement. We set a date and time for our first book discussion, and I started reading right away. The story was captivating, filled with adventure and deep friendships, and it reminded me of our own bond. I couldn't wait to share my thoughts with Lily. When the day of our discussion arrived, I prepared my notes and made sure I had my favorite snacks ready, popcorn and chocolate, just like old times. As I logged on to the video call, I felt a mix of nervousness and excitement. I wanted this to be a great experience for both of us. When Lily's face appeared on the screen, I couldn't help but smile. Hey, you look great, I said, feeling the familiar warmth of our friendship. Thanks, you too, she replied, her eyes bright with enthusiasm. I'm so excited to talk about the book. We jumped into a discussion about the Enchanted Forest, sharing our favorite characters and moments. As we talked, I felt the distance fade away. It was just like being together in person, laughing and debating over our favorite parts. After a while, our conversation naturally shifted to our lives. So, how's everything going for you? I asked, genuinely curious. Lily paused for a moment, her expression becoming serious. It's been okay. School is tough, and I still miss home a lot. Sometimes I feel like I'm just trying to fit in, you know? I nodded, understanding her struggle. I get that. It's hard to start over in a new place. I've been thinking about how we can help each other feel less alone. Yeah, I'd love that, she said, her voice softening. It's nice to know that I'm not the only one feeling this way. We decided to make our book club a regular thing, meeting every week to discuss new chapters. It became a highlight of our weeks, something we both looked forward to. Each call brought us closer, and I started to feel like we were building bridges over the distance. One day, I had an idea. What if we both write short stories and share them during our calls? It could be a fun way to express ourselves. Lily's eyes lit up. That sounds amazing. We could even create a little competition for fun. Each week, we could write about different themes. I love that idea. We agreed on a theme for our first stories, a journey through time. As I started to write my story, I felt a sense of excitement. It was a chance to let my imagination run wild, and I couldn't wait to hear what Lily would create. The following week, we shared our stories during our call. I was nervous but eager to hear Lily's tale. She had created a magical world filled with time-traveling adventures. Her creativity inspired me, and I felt proud of the stories we were crafting together. An alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. Before that moment, I was just Alex, a guy feeling the distance from my best friend Lily, who moved away. After our beautiful reunion at Lake Serenity and our fun virtual activities, I felt our friendship growing stronger. But I also realized that to truly reconnect, we needed to create new memories together. One evening, as I was scrolling through social media, I came across a post about a local festival happening in my town. The festival featured food, music, and games. It reminded me of the fun fairs we used to attend together. An idea sparked in my mind. What if I invited Lily to join me for the festival, even if it was virtually? I quickly sent her a message. Hey, Lily, there's a festival in my town this weekend. How about we do a virtual festival together? I can show you around through video, and we can try the food and games I find. A few moments later, my phone buzzed with her reply. That sounds amazing. I'd love to join you. Let's make it a fun day. I felt a rush of excitement. This was a chance to create a new adventure together, and I couldn't wait to share my town with her. I made a list of all the activities I wanted to show her and planned how I would set up my phone for the best view. On the day of the festival, I woke up early, filled with energy. I dressed casually, grabbed my phone, and headed out to the fairgrounds. The sun was shining, and the air was filled with the delicious smell of food. As I walked through the festival, I felt a sense of joy. This was the perfect opportunity to reconnect with Lily. I found a quiet spot under a colorful tent and set up my phone to start the video call. Ready to explore? I asked when she answered. Absolutely. I can't wait to see everything. Lily's face was lit up with excitement, and her smile made my heart feel warm. I started walking through the festival, showing her the colorful booths and lively crowds. Look at this. They have cotton candy. Do you remember how much we loved it? I held up a fluffy pink cloud of cotton candy. Yes, get some for me. She laughed, and I could see her excitement through the screen. I bought the cotton candy and took a big bite, making exaggerated faces to make her laugh. It's just as sweet as I remember, I said, and she giggled. The distance felt smaller with each moment we shared. Next, I took her to the game area where people were playing ring toss and throwing darts at balloons. They have this game where you can win prizes, I exclaimed, pointing my camera toward the colorful stalls. Let's see if I can win something for you. As I tried my luck at the ring toss, I felt a rush of nostalgia. I remembered all the times Lily and I had played games together, cheering each other on. I focused hard and managed to land a ring on a bottle, winning a small stuffed animal. Look, I got you a prize. I held up the fluffy toy, feeling proud. Oh, it's adorable. Thank you. Lily exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with joy. As we continued our virtual tour, I shared stories about my life since she had moved. I showed her my favorite spots in the park, the small cafe where I often went to think, and the bridge where we had shared so many memories. I felt like I was bringing her back into my world. Piece by piece, after exploring the festival, we found a quiet corner to sit and chat. This has been so much fun, Alex. I really feel like I'm there with you, Lily said, her voice sincere. I'm glad. I wanted you to feel included in my life, even from far away, I replied. I've missed sharing these moments with you. Me too, she said softly. Sometimes I feel like I'm living in a completely different world, and I worry that we're drifting apart. But today has reminded me how connected we still are. I nodded, understanding her feelings. No matter the distance, we can always find ways to be together. We just have to keep trying. As the sun began to set, painting the sky in beautiful shades of orange and pink, I felt a surge of hope. Lily, what if we make this a tradition? We could explore festivals and events together, even if we're miles apart. It could be our way of sharing experiences. I love that idea, she replied, her smile brightening the screen. We can plan virtual events and keep discovering new things together. With that thought, we started brainstorming ideas for our next virtual adventure. We talked about visiting museums, exploring natural wonders, and even trying out new recipes together. Each idea filled me with excitement about the future. As the festival came to an end, I felt a mix of sadness and joy. I wish you could be here in person, I said, looking out at the glowing lights of the festival. But I'm grateful we could share this. Me too, Alex. This has been one of the best days I've had in a long time, she said, her voice warm and sincere. Thank you for making the effort to connect. It means so much to me. After we ended the call, I reflected on the day. I realized that even though Lily and I were far apart, our friendship was stronger than distance. We had found a way to create new memories together, and that gave me hope for the future. Over the following weeks, we continued our virtual adventures, exploring new topics, games, and experiences. Each time we connected, I felt our bond deepen. I knew that as long as we kept communicating and sharing our lives, we could overcome any obstacle that came our way, just like that alien woman who collapsed in my arms, reminding me that connections could change everything. Lily and I were building our own galaxy of friendship. Through creativity, determination, and hope, we were proving that distance didn't have to mean separation. Together, we were discovering that our friendship could thrive no matter where life took us. Asterisk, an alien woman collapsed in my arms, and her words changed the galaxy. But before that moment, I was just Alex, still trying to reconnect with my best friend Lily, who had moved away. After our amazing virtual festival and the new traditions we created, I felt hopeful. Yet, I knew that maintaining our friendship would require ongoing effort. One evening, as I sat on my couch, I thought about how much fun we had been having with our virtual adventures. But I also felt a nagging worry. What if we couldn't keep this up? Life could get busy, and I didn't want to lose the connection we had fought so hard to build. To ease my mind, I decided to send Lily a quick message. Hey, I've been thinking about how great our virtual adventures have been. I want to keep this going, but I'm worried about life getting in the way. What do you think? A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. I've thought about that too. I love our time together, but I know school is getting busier for me. I don't want to lose what we have. Reading her message made my heart sink a little. I understood how overwhelming life could be, especially for her. Maybe we can set a regular schedule, I suggested. That way, we can always look forward to our calls, no matter how busy we get. Good idea. How about we meet every Saturday morning? We can start our weekends together, she replied. I felt a wave of relief wash over me. Yes, that sounds perfect. I'll be looking forward to it. As Saturday approached, I felt excited, but also a little anxious. I wanted our time together to be special. I decided to make our calls a little different this time. I wanted to create a theme for our meeting away to make it feel like a special occasion. On the morning of our call, I set up my living room with fairy lights and prepared a delicious breakfast. I made pancakes, fruit, and hot chocolate, thinking about how fun it would be to share the experience with Lily. I even put on my favorite shirt, the one I wore when we used to hang out together. When the time for our call arrived, I logged on to the video chat, eager to see her. Good morning, Lily. I greeted her with a big smile. Welcome to our Saturday breakfast adventure. Wow, this looks amazing, she exclaimed, her eyes widening. I love the decorations. It feels like a special occasion. I wanted to make it fun. Let's have breakfast together, even if we're miles apart, I said, pouring her a virtual cup of hot chocolate. We both dug into our breakfasts, chatting and laughing about random things. It felt so good to share a meal again, even if it was through a screen. As we talked, I noticed how much more relaxed and happy we both felt. This was a perfect way to reconnect. After finishing our breakfast, we decided to play a game together. I pulled out my deck of cards and suggested a classic card game. Let's see who can win the most rounds. We played for a while, laughing and teasing each other like we used to. Each victory and defeat reminded me of our past adventures, and I felt grateful for the bond we were rekindling. But as the day went on, I sensed something was still bothering Lily. She seemed distracted, glancing away from the screen occasionally. Is everything okay? I asked, concerned. She sighed, looking down. I don't know, Alex. I've been feeling overwhelmed with school and trying to fit in here. Sometimes it feels like I'm not doing enough, and I worry that I'm letting you down. I felt a pang in my heart. You're not letting me down at all. I'm proud of you for working hard. It's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. We're in this together, remember? Lily looked up, her expression softening. You're right. I guess I just need to remind myself that it's okay to ask for help. I've been trying to be strong, but I miss home and our adventures. I nodded. We can help each other. You don't have to do everything alone. Let's find ways to support each other through the tough times. That conversation opened up a deeper connection between us. We spent the rest of our call discussing ways to cope with stress and how to balance our responsibilities. I shared my own struggles with work and how I